Guys, welcome back. Hope you all are doing very well. First of all, let me thank you guys for 469 subscribers. As of the recording of this YouTube video, I really do much appreciate it. And remember that if you do enjoy the content, to subscribe to the channel and help me reach that 1K goal. We are very close to being halfway, and the support so far has been absolutely astonishing. So thank you very much for that. So, what I have for you guys today, well, this is Koumei. She is essentially the gambling Warframe of, well, Warframe. So basically her whole skill set is based around these dies that you throw around. So the dies essentially, they dictate how powerful the ability is going to be, if it has any bonus effect or if it has a negative effect on you. If you have a like below 10 throw on your dies, most of the time you're going to get a little bit of a debuff for a short time period when it comes to your second ability, but it's not really all that bad. You literally cannot lose with Koumei, and that's the good thing. So this whole build is based around her new augment. So the new augment, basically what it does is whenever you kill an enemy with the weapon currently active through your passive ability, it will actually display at the bottom right of your screen next to your dice. You can see it's either a primary, which is displayed by a Braton, a secondary, which is displayed by a Leto, and a melee, which is displayed by a Scanner. Now these weapons are displayed, and then, well, they are in their respective categories: a primary, secondary, and melee. When this is active and you actually kill an enemy with, let's say, your primary, you will get a 4-second cooldown reduction on your second ability. Now, the second ability of Koumei is essentially the whole reason you would want to play her, because that is the decree system, which is in Duviri. Now, these decrees are extremely powerful most of the time. So that is why, in my opinion, Koumei is probably one of the best endurance warframes in this whole game. It can literally, Koumei can make any gun work really well just because of the whole decree system. If you get something like, let's say for instance, and this is not too far-fetched, you can get multi-shot, 150% bonus multi-shot above what you already have. You can get crit damage is doubled, okay, which is already ridiculous. You can get melee attacks hit twice, which is also, once again, very ridiculous. You can also get your shots deal an extra hit with a bonus of X amount more corrosive damage and frost damage as well later on. It's very silly how quickly Koumei can spiral out of control and make any gun work. Now, this build is actually, like I said, centered around her new augment, so we're not doing much in terms of other abilities. We actually subsumed her first ability, since it's a semi-damage dealing status proccing thing, which is not really all that useful to her. So we remove that and we put on Evade from Site 9. Site 9's Evade is really good because you can combine it with Arcane, which is in the build segment, by the way. That will also increase your final critical multiplier, which is massive. One of the big reasons why the Magister is such a great weapon is because its Incarnon has a +1 final damage multiplier. Now Koumei, and with this augment, not augment, subsumed ability and Arcane, has a +3, and if you actually max it out, you actually have more. So it really is all that. It really is. It's insane. So of course we have a survival build, or survivable build really. It's a very tanky build. It's a shield gating build that we're running on Koumei. In the gameplay, I don't have adaptation on. I do actually slap it on after this. It's in the build segment once again. But yeah, so just a side note that I want to add for you guys: if you are planning on playing Koumei, I highly recommend that you guys use a primer. Now, primer, of course, everybody knows what a primer is. So your secondary weapon, you would run something like Tenet Cycron, Kuva Nucor, or the Epitaph with secondary encumber. And the reason for me saying that is a lot of Koumei's challenges goes as follows: kill X amount of enemies affected by, let's say, heat status effect. Now, in general, that wouldn't be a problem because you can activate your 4th ability and get random status effects proc. But sometimes they just don't proc the correct ability. It is what it is. So having a primer definitely helps you out with that. It's just a recommendation. You don't need to heed it. You don't need to follow it. But it definitely will help you out to get through her decree challenges quicker. Yeah, I'm going to leave you guys with the rest of the gameplay. I'll see you all again in the build segment. And yeah, then we'll close it off after that.
Scouts. If they detect you, fighters will soon attack. They know you're here. Prepare for sentient fighters.
Okay, so for Koumei's build, Koumei, whatever you want to call her. So with Koumei, the thing is, ability strength does not really matter on this frame, as her decrees really help you out quite a bit. So I really did not spec into ability strength. I also have 2 yellow shards for parkour velocity and casting speed because, well, it is very nice on her, especially when you do need to recast your third ability for the survivability of her. So that is really nice. Then I also have just a Topaz Archon shard on here just for the lull of it, because I am using fire on my Tenet Cyclone to strip armor. So that is just a little bit of a fun thing, but definitely you don't need shards on Koumei whatsoever. These are just quality of life shards really, but you can of course add in whatever shards you would want on her. Now for the build itself, just a quick note when it comes to this build, I would, if I could, swap this out for something like Brief Respite, although you're not casting all that much of her, but it does help with the survivability, or something like Corrosive Projection would also help quite a bit with her to just add in that extra little bit of armor strip. You can also run on her if you really want to, something like Rejuvenation, just a quality of life thing. She has a lot of quality of life aspects that you can actually work with, so really it is up to you what you want on this slot. I do not want Steel Charge, but you know what, it is what it is. This is what I have, so yeah, I don't have the format to facilitate forming this slot and another slot right now, since I'm working on getting Legend rank 5. But for the build itself, we're running Prime Continuity because we do have Evade on her. This is a subsume ability from Sight 9, so we are definitely going to be wanting a little bit more duration and duration per weak point kill. Then of course we are working around this new augment she has, Omikuji's Fortune. So basically what it does is, Koumei has the passive ability where every 60 seconds one of Koumei's weapons will inflict random status effects for 60 seconds. So you will see this on the bottom right of your screen. Now whatever weapon is affected, if you use that weapon, you will then get a 4-second cooldown on this ability. Now how it works is essentially, let's say you cast this ability, you do get your decree, now you are on a 40-second cooldown. If you kill 10 enemies with that weapon that is currently active on the passive ability, you will instantly get a cooldown back to 0 and you can get another decree going. This is absolutely phenomenal, and it definitely needs to be part of her base kit. People call this a band-aid augment, and I understand why, but this is essentially just a must-have on Koumei if you are gonna play her. Definitely one of the best augments for her, if not, well, one of the best. It's basically a necessity at this point, because the only reason you're going to be playing Koumei is for survivability, for endurance runs and stuff like that. So you're definitely working purely based on her second ability for the decrees to be very, very strong. So then we also have Vitality, just to add in that little bit of extra safety net. We are working with a shield gating build here, but Vitality is nice because her third ability does actually restore some of your HP when it does activate, which is really nice. We do have Archon Stretch on here. If you do not have Archon Stretch, it's not a big deal. You can just use normal Stretch, but Archon Stretch is really nice since a lot of her abilities later on, decrease and such, actually does proc electricity, so this does help to keep her energy up, although you're not playing a caster frame really. Then we do have Adaptation for more survivability, Catalyzing Shields to facilitate the whole shield gating build, Equilibrium for survivability and energy, always nice, and a lot of the decrees in this game actually have stuff like there's a 60% chance if you kill an enemy, it will drop an health orb. You can see how this spirals out of control real quick. And then fast deflection just to, once again, facilitate the whole shield gating build. And then on the arcanes, Arcane Aegis and Arcane Crepuscular. I can't really pronounce this. I'm not actually English, so that is what it is. But basically, because we are using evade, this is going to give us a massive critical damage bonus on whatever we are using for Koumei. So this is really, really, really good to use, since Koumei is essentially one of, if not the best weapon platforms in theory. If you do get the decrees, the right decrees, you can get very strong extremely quickly with her. So that is definitely something that you should run on this. Of course, mine is just rank 4, rank 5, even better. You know what I mean. Okay, so that is it for the Koumei build. Once again, just a note on this. I run Steel Charge. I don't want to run Steel Charge. It's what I have currently. I would much rather have something like Corrosive Projection, something that would help in actual combat, although the melee damage is not too shabby, it's just not really worth running it. So this is a outlier build. This is completely up to you how you want to build Koumei. Koumei is very versatile, and you can't really go wrong with building her, but this is my build, and I highly suggest that you guys actually try this out. Yeah, that's it for the build segment. So you guys have the build now, and like I said, it's really simple to build Koumei to be very strong, because all of her strength comes from decrees. If you guys have ever actually done Deviri or have done the circuit, you guys know how quickly decrees can make your character extremely powerful. Now I do have a lot of footage of the survival, but I'll only take it to 10 minutes because I don't want you guys to sit here the whole day. So that is just my recommendation for how to build Koumei. If you guys want to change anything on her, please feel free to do so. Just remember to keep in that augment ability of her. It is essential to playing Koumei effectively now. Like I said, it's a band-aid augment. It's kind of depressing that you need to have it on her pretty much to make her extremely good. She was always good, it's just now she is phenomenally good when it goes to anything that is endurance based. Of course, you're not going to be using Koumei in a damn extermination. You're not going to use her in a capture. You know, that's pretty much obvious. But for anything that has a survival or a endurance aspect to it, you know that you're going to be rocking it hard with Koumei pretty much. Now, just one thing to note once again, Koumei is, like I said, extremely versatile. You don't need to run evade on her. If you guys really want to, you guys can swap out evade for any other ability. Something like pillage from Hildren. You can run it on her and use it rather effectively, especially on a shield gating build. It doesn't really add into the whole, you know, massive critical damage thing that I'm going for with the arcane, so you would need to swap that out for something else, but that's not too big of a problem because, like I said, Koumei is very versatile. There's many ways to build her, and I don't think you can really go wrong as long as you have that augment on her. So really try her out again, because I know a lot of people don't like her because she's a endurance frame and she was promoted as beginners friendly, which she is not, since you're not going to be getting the most out of her as a beginner. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. I'm going to leave you guys with a tad bit more of the gameplay, and I will see you all again in the next video. Have a good one, and peace out.
sought out Warframes before. Vor sought to present them with yours. We cannot let the worm have Voruna. Those oculists are scanning for targets. The sentient is onto you.